Welcome everyone to Fantasy HQ. We are here, the NRL Fantasy Gurus. I'm here, hair is on point. Red's here, he's got the giggles. Mitch isn't slouching. We're ready to roll. So let's get this episode going. We had Teamless Tuesday today. Very uneventful Teamless Tuesday.
Yesterday for you guys at home.
Yeah, it's a bit flat this one. No real surprises overall.
No, not like last week. There was no bulk changes or anything. So I am Alex from Goose FG, Fantasy Gurus. To your left is Red from Myrmidon's FG. To your right is Mitch from Mitch's Lads FG. We are the Fantasy Gurus. Now, Red, everyone's favourite segment. It's got a little bit of a change up this week.
Dude, you stole my thunder. That was going to be my bit.
Okay,
Alright, cool. So now, as you all know...
Segue.
No, okay, cool. So, it's time for Wall Street. What are we doing this time? Okay.
We don't do that.
No effects?
No anymore.
Okay,
So
so we've got to cut the budget.
Cut the budget.
Just focus, mate.
We got premium beer now, so we've got to cut the budget. Anyway, welcome to Wall Street. Welcome to Wall Street, everyone, where we're talking buys and sells, bewares and pump the brakes. This time around, as Alex mentioned, as he stole my thunder, there is a bit of a change up to Wall Street. So we're going to do the buys and sells as normal, but we're going to prevent you guys from having to look at us for too long, listen to Alex's rubbish tips and having ruin your team with less chances. So we're going to do a beware and a pump the brakes in the same segment, where each one of us gets to choose whether they're going to do beware or pump the brakes. So
Much better format.
yeah, look, it was a hot debated topic. We discussed it downstairs for about 10 minutes and we decided this is just the way to go.
We feel like the less advice we give you, the better off we are.
Yeah,
and the less
definitely.
criticism we face.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We're all for this.
So we're going the insurance
We're a bit
bet.
sensitive.
Well, Alex is. The rest of us don't mind. But, you know, whatever. Okay, so we're going to start off with buys. And I'm going to send it to me this time. I've never gone first on Wall Street. So I'm going to take my time to talk as much as I can. And I'm going to start with Jaden Ockenbaugh. That man, ooh, mama. He was amazing. Looked really, really good. And I'm sorry, and you know I'm biased. You know, it's Cam Smith, but he
Made him
ran
look
over him
Yeah, a few
several
times.
times.
Made him look very
One
silly.
of the best tacklers in the game. Made him look absolute rubbish. Steamrolled him. You know, he has a minus 20 break even this week. Pick him up. He's gonna make you money.
Lots of money.
Yeah, huge amounts of money. The only thing that I'd say about him is he's sitting in the second row centre position. So I think best position for this guy, because most of the people are a bit weak in the wing fullback position, chuck him on your bench.
Yeah.
I think that's the best option. He's super cheap at 304,000. Get him now, because what if he averages 25?
25 over the next 3 weeks, he'll get you 120k in that kitty. So,
That's huge.
you know, plus Bulldogs with the first.
Yeah, you know, so he's playing first buy round, which is huge. So you've got to start thinking about getting those guys in your team. I think Jaden Ockenbaugh, hands down, gotta have him there.
Love the pick.
Great pick.
Unfortunately, yeah, second row centre.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
a
terrible DPP, but
Yeah.
You can't help that, unfortunately.
no, you can't.
All right, we're gonna go with Herms.
Okay.
Who you
okay.
buying?
You know, I
Make
wanted
sure
to say
everybody
this
knows.
last week, and I regret that I
Really?
didn't. I even said it to you. I said Mitchell Moses should be, and we were like,
Didn't say it. Didn't
I
say it.
should've.
We suggested it to him. He said, "No, he's rubbish. He won't do anything."
Anyway, should have. He scored 80. He had a huge game, destroyed the Sharkies, made us look absolutely silly.
It was amazing.
He's still relatively cheap for the halves, 623k. Plays the first round of buys, like I said about Ockenbaugh. He's only scored under 50 once this year. Now he's doing all the bulk kicking because Jamin Salmon is just the second fiddle. He's not really doing much. He's the team's goal kicker and he's got a low break even this week, 23. So I think if you're going to bring in Moses, now's the time to do it. He's just one of those great mid-range halves that are coming through like Morgan and like Lockie Lewis, who's probably already a bit too expensive now.
Yeah.
Yes. Mitchell Moses is my guy.
Yeah, I'm partial to him. He's killing it this year.
You got a partial for him. Is that what's been happening on the show? I knew there was something going on.
It's not the plan.
Just this. We're good now. We're good. We're back to a PG rating.
Oh, thank God. No, I think Mitchell Moses is a great option. He just, a lot of people have like one really strong half and one really sort of cheapy sort of half, like your Dylan Browns and Kieran's back in the day. I think you need to have at least a mid-tier in there. They're scoring so well, the dominant halves this year. I think like Daly Cherry Evans, Mitchell Moses, Michael Morgan's having a really good sort of round for his season for his price. Reynolds. I think you need to have 2 good halves. I don't think you can rely on cash cows in that anymore.
Nah.
Speaking of which, though, Mitch has got a cash cow half. I think he's like...
Oh, Jesus.
Mate, okay, he's a, in my opinion, must have. I watched Kieran play for the Warriors. He was rubbish. Watched Harris DeVita play without scoring a try, didn't have a try assist, just did all the little things. And he ended up with a score of, was it 56, 55? He's only 258,000, so if you didn't bring him in last week, bring him in this week with a break even of -13. So he's just going to keep making money over the next couple of weeks. So get in now before it's too late. Because I think he's actually going to be the long-term option for the rest of the season anyway. I think he'll be a genuine keeper going forward.
Yeah, I do worry about him because Kieran looked great in his first game.
No, he didn't.
And then I think the Warriors halves score well if they're winning games. So, I'm cautious. So I'm bringing him in just because I know he's going to make me money. And, minus break even. I just think you got to get those guys in early, build that cash up. So I'll bring him in this way. I went with the Cardi party last week instead of him. I went with Bryce Cartwright.
What was the party like?
There was no chips, no dip.
No chips and dip?
No, it's just not a very good party.
We're going to go with sells now. Mitch, I'm going to start with you, mate. Who are you selling?
Jacob Host, if you've got him, get him out. He's done. He's made his little bit of money he's going to make. The forwards are starting to come back now for the Dragons. He's going back to the bench. He's got a break even of 14 this week. I don't think he's actually going to hit that, to be honest. And I think I can't get rid of him this week, but he's definitely going next week for me.
He got caught a little bit of a break with Corbin Sims going out as well.
Yeah.
Which might give him a few more minutes, but he's on the bench. Frizzell's an 80-minute second rower.
It's got to be for them at the moment.
I don't know where he's squeezing in. Maybe he takes Laurie off for a little bit.
All right, Holmes. Who are you selling?
Corey Oates. Yeah, I know. He's for a few reasons. -2 last week. Part of that disgusting Broncos effort. Absolutely disgusting. We had 57 missed tackles. It was just a disgrace. They need to pick that up. Oates personally had 6 errors. 6 errors is just ridiculous. He's still in 8.4% of teams. He's already dropped out of 1% of teams from last week. So people are catching on this because his break even 73. He's going to lose you money this week unless he goes absolutely bonkers. He was dominant week 1. He got 75. So he'd have to have another week 1 performance.
He'd have to get a few tries in there to get those kind of numbers.
But his score has dropped every week since week 1. Yeah, 75, 55, 38, and -2. So he's just going down. Sarko the same on the other wing. They're just not getting any better. Yeah, well, I think Broncos as a whole are just getting worse. So that's just mine.
You're really good at this, Holmes.
And I'm gonna jump on that. Holmes again has stolen my thunder twice today. So who are you selling, Brad? Well, Holmes, I'm selling Jermaine Sarko. Oh.
That's why I said you're so good at this.
Oh, you're brilliant. So yeah, look, we're hating on the Broncos wingers today. They were rubbish, and I think in the last couple of weeks they've actually had some very poor fantasy weeks. Not necessarily bad weeks, but just fantasy-wise been very poor. Jermaine Sarko has a break-even of 55. He cost you 494,000, and for the wing fullback position, an extra 150 gets you Kalen Ponga. So if you can sell someone who's doing a lot worse and bring in a cash cow that we've talked about, and then get Jermaine Sarko out of there and bring in Kalen Ponga, I think that's the best possible option you can have right here, right now.
Up, then.
Absolutely, and we saw what he did last week at fullback, what he did last year at fullback. Kalen Ponga's the man, and unless the Zarko actually ends up at fullback and the Broncos wake up and drop Darius Boyd from there someday, somehow, I don't think he's worth having any team at all anymore. He's in 10% of the teams out there, and I think you guys you've got to just cut it. You know, he has no try assists and no tries. I said this about Manu last week and he screwed me with it. Yeah. But I'll let that slide. That can't happen twice. It can't happen twice, right? No, never. But yeah, so I just think that, he had a score of 7, not -2, but he's only averaging 30 points a week as well. Like, that's just not enough for a guy who costs you that much money. You've got to get him out.
And combine, Oates and Asako actually combined for 10 errors last week.
Oh,
I mean, that's what really cruelled the Broncos. Every time they're coming out of trouble, those boys just get dropping it. So.
Because now we're going to go into the hybrid, first time, inaugural, whatever you want to call it, version of Pump the Brakes / Buyer Beware. So we're going to have to pick what we want to do. And Hearns, I'm going to let you go first. Once again, I like to get the rubbish out the way and give you another chance to grub me just in case you want to talk about my guy as well.
You know what? Yeah, I was still stolen off the limelight today, so I'll make this super quick. I'm going to pump the brakes, and I just think Cam Smith had a pretty average game last week for those who had him as captain. I know Red did. I know you did also. So 2 of these guys both had him as captain. Ain't cool. No big deal. I've never seen him have 2 bad games in a row.
No.
He's a fantasy god. He just doesn't do it.
He's
still one of the best captain options in NRL fantasy. He's still averaging 56 a week, which is ranked 12th in points in the entire fantasy football. He's got a high break even, 78, but still, you know, when you're a keeper, it shouldn't matter. So I think just hang on to Cam Smith, pump the brakes, do not sell him. Keep him as a captain. My opinion.
Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't hit panic stations on Cameron, and we all know I'm biased, but yeah, 1 bad week isn't exactly enough to sell the man.
At the same time, like, he didn't take any. He took like 1 general play kick for like 20 metres. So he usually, you know, jumps out, pops a kick. Storm usually score a few more points, so he usually gets some conversions. And it's not often he misses 7 tackles in the game. So it's just one of those. I think Storm in general was an off day.
They were flat, very flat. It actually looked horrible. I was pretty upset. Mitch.
I won't pump the brakes on Luke Garner for the Tigers. He only got 29 points last week, which is his lowest effort so far. He did lose a bit of time because he went off for HIA. But his break even's still quite low, 24. He should hit that, so he's still going to make you money. And I think Chris Lawrence will be finding it really tough to actually get his position back. How well this guy's been playing this year. So
we still don't know when Chris Lawrence is come.
No, well,
if
that's still up in the air, but I think he's going to really struggle because he's been playing the house down for the Tigers.
All right, guys. We've done 2 pump breaks actually. I'm going to go with a buyer beware. I'm going to talk about Kieran Holland. Now I've been a buy on a dog, and now I've been a beware on a dog. But Kieran Holland had a monster week. But even with that monster week, I think he scored 74 somewhere in there.
Yes, he's in that range.
He's still only averaging 36 points a week. Because the 3 weeks before that, he was only averaging 24 points a week. I think everyone's going to be super impressed with the Dogs, and yes, they have been a lot better. Ockenball gets a lot of his points from bringing the ball back. I don't think it's actually Kieran Holland who's setting him up. I think he's actually a bit of a hog. But, you know, for a guy's 441,000, he's that mid-tier that I don't think is going to get you the points that you're looking for. Like I said, he's only averaging 36 after he scored a monster score. So, you know, he's stopped kicking goals for the Dogs. Now they've got Reece Martin there, who is a ridiculous sharpshooter. Had the 1 miss, and it was obviously a massive catastrophe. But still, even before, you know, last week he was averaging under 100 meters. Not good. And he's had more tackle busts in the game last week than he had the whole year before.
It's just one of those days. Players have them from time to time. You'll be like, whoa, 80 points. And then next week he'll come out and get 12.
You bring him in and he absolutely duds you like Jack Bird did when we brought him in.
He's been solid.
He's been solid, but he was doing a lot better before we brought him in. Classic. Beautiful. And that is Wall Street.
Alright, we're going to move it over to Mitch for the injury report. We got a few major injuries this week, which should affect some teams.
We'll start off with Greg Inglis. He's not actually injured, but he's been granted leave at the moment by the Rabbitohs, so it's unclear how long that's actually going to be.
He's saying indefinite.
Yeah. But there were a few big injuries to come out. One of my favourites, Big Puppy. Looks like he's out for 5 to 6 weeks.
Oh, get better, Puppy. Get better.
We miss you, buddy. We miss you. Woodsy for the Sharks, obviously. Probably helped Fafita a bit with some inflated minutes last week. He looks like he's out for 10 to 12 weeks, so that's a bit of a long one for him, unfortunately. Tommy Turbo. He was in fine form.
Oh my god.
That's just to watch him pull up like that. Yes,
you hate to see when it's not in contact. Unfortunately, he looks like he's out for 6 to 9 weeks.
Yeah, what a tease, hey. He was looking so good.
He was looking good. This guy's tough as nails. Played 15 minutes with a broken arm. Corbin Sims.
Wow, that's super impressive.
He looks like he's out for 6 to 8 weeks. And there's a few suspensions. Pangai's got 2 weeks for the shot on Cronk.
So who you got coming in? Fafita. David Fafita coming into starting lockdown. So could be a nice
and Vunivalu for the Storm. Looks like 1 week for the tackle out there.
Addo card coming back in the
Yeah,
team. There's
so
going to be a
that's
bit of a
straight
reshuffle.
as
So,
Sene just goes to the other side.
yeah. Chambers back to centre.
Yeah.
And this week, the NRL Fantasy Guru Player of the Week.
Drum roll.
Who took it away, Mitch?
Andrew Fafita.
Ugh.
He had some big numbers. It was really impressive out there. 7 offloads, 6 tackle breaks, 39 tackles, 153 run meters, and a better haircut than Dugan.
Oh.
Not that.
We were at the game and we were like, "Where's Fafita?" Couldn't find him on the field.
I was looking for him on.
He found a barber with vision. He didn't go to the blind one like Dugan did, and yeah, he was
Dugan.
definitely the haircut alone. I think got him player of the week.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my god, that's the worst hairdo in the NRL.
Actually,
He's-
did
he
you
spent
go
more-
to Dugan's barber?
This is on point. This is on point. I don't want to hear it. Honestly, though, he spent more time on his knees than on his feet that game. That was ridiculous. Anyway.
We went back to
I don't want to talk
classic
about
Dugan form.
I don't want to talk about Dugan.
You're still hurting, mate. You're still hurting.
I'm still
it's fine.
hurting.
Let it out,
That's
mate.
right. So's Dugan. He's still sore.
I've got a
These
shoulder
Parramatta
here for you to cry
fans,
on.
I just think they're king shit right now. Anyway. So let's wrap it up. Thank you guys for continual support and watching us and subscribing and watching and doing all that stuff and sending us comments and if we don't get around
And
to,
liking and
I'm not stealing your whole thing. I'm still going to go to you for that. I'm just
I don't want to do
I'm
it
wrapping
anymore.
up. I'm wrapping up.
You
Wrap it
stole
up.
Red's fun, you stole my fun. I don't want to do it anymore.
So Red, what can they do if they want to find out more? All right, Mitch. What can they do?
Like, subscribe, comment. Thanks,
Awesome.
guys. See you
Thanks,
next
guys.
week.
See ya.
Subscribe.